Hey guys, in this video I just want to go over some of the gear that I started out with. Last year actually was my first year backpacking, and so I made a lot of mistakes in my gear purchases, and we'll just discuss what I will be using in this 2023 season. And I think one of my, and this will be the first system that I go over, is because I think it's the one that I made the biggest mistake in, and that was the sleep system. You know, I splurged on a backpack, paid a little bit for my tent, but I went cheap on my sleep system, and that was probably the biggest mistake that I made. And what I started out with is, I started out with, one of those Amazon $40 inflatable mats with like no R value whatsoever. It wasn't bad as far as comfort went, but it was definitely wasn't. I wouldn't even consider it a 3-season pad. Actually, my first backpacking trip that I went on, me and a friend of mine went to the Fiery Gizzard, and it got down to like 23 degrees that night, and man, I about froze. And I didn't have the proper sleeping bag. I actually had this sleeping bag, which isn't a bad sleeping bag at all. I think Nature Hike, for who they are and what you pay for their stuff, isn't bad at all. I think I was thinking weight over really the quality of sleep that it would give me, or how warm it would keep me. This is, it says 9 degrees Celsius. I don't know the math. I'm assuming that's probably somewhere 35, 40 degrees. And anything below 35, this thing will freeze you out. But as far as like a summer pack or summer sleeping bag, or maybe car camping in the warmer weather, it ain't bad. It's a mummy style, and it's a smaller mummy style. It didn't fit me well at all. I was bunched up in it. Wasn't that comfortable. Another one that I bought, I didn't. Well, actually, the first one, the first Nature Hike, it was actually a freebie. I got it for free. I bought this one. It was more of a square style, really lightweight, but I'm wanting to say this thing, it's rated for comfort level at 15 degrees Celsius, so I'm assuming that's really warm weather. That's not anything around in the 30s, the comfort level at all. And so this has served me well for just how compact it is and how light it is, and for warmer months. But anything below 45, I'm not confident that this is going to keep me comfortable. That was pretty much what I was working with. Those 2 sleeping bags and the Amazon inflatable mat. It was horrible. I regretted spending the money that I spent on it. Coming into this season, I wanted to get something, at least had some insulation value to it. What I did end up buying, which I wish I would have spent, because for the price of that Amazon mat, I could have got this, but I was afraid because I wasn't sure how comfortable this thing would be. But I ended up buying it because they're cheap enough, and they're super lightweight, and this thing surprised me. Actually, if I had it all over to do with in the same budget, I probably would have got this instead of that, the Amazon inflatable pad. This isn't that bad, and it actually does have some insulation value to it. I think the R value is like 2. It ain't very much, but I've used this already in Mount LeConte, and with my new sleeping bag that I'm about to show you. And the temperatures got down to 12. Although we was in a shelter, the wind was blowing pretty bad. I was on the top. This thing served me well, kept me warm. If I had it all over to do, and I didn't have the money to spend on, say, a more expensive sleep pad, I probably would have ended up getting this. I had money to spend a little bit more on. I think Climate, they make some really decent inflatable pads that I probably would have went with instead of that Amazon sleeping pad I went with. But this is nice. I like this. I like the weight of it more than anything, and this is really nice for summer months as well. So that's why I ended up getting this. And the sleeping bag that I finally ended up spending some money on, is this sleeping bag here. It is the Big Agnes Torchlight Camp 35 degree. I didn't go with the 25 because I knew that I could layer up. Actually, if you can stay somewhat warm in some of the temperatures I did with the two sleeping bags that I got there, I knew that this 35 degree I could layer up and stay pretty warm. And the one thing that I like the most about this is I fit in this thing. It's a mummy sleeping bag, but I can turn in it. I can sleep on my side in it. It has two zippers along the side that actually will open it up and give you, a few more inches of space inside. And then if it's a little cooler, you can zip them up, get it tighter on you, have more of the mummy feel to it. And this is a great sleeping bag. I had the Nero sleeping pad with this at Mount LeConte on my last trip. It got down to 12 degrees and I stayed toasty warm. Although I was layered up, had my base layers, I had my mid layer, my puffy on, and had something over my head. But this is a great sleeping bag. And what I liked most about it is I think I got it on sale for like $100, 115 maybe. But yeah, and it just, that's the thing about sleep systems. They are expensive. The pads are expensive. The sleeping bags are expensive. And when it comes to going budget, man, you really have to know what you're getting. And I'd say if you can't afford a $350 top quilt and you can't afford, a $180 sleeping pad, there are other options out there. And I would look, really learn what the comfort level is, if it's the true comfort level. Also, I think kind of just really getting experience in the backcountry and some colder temperatures and knowing how to layer up and knowing what you can get by with and what you can't get by with. If you're only going to do one or two winter camping trips a year, and this varies by region. I live in Kentucky, and so a lot of my camping or backpacking is in Kentucky and Tennessee, and of course it snows and it gets cold here in the wintertime, but it's it's not like the northern states. So I'd say, if you live in northern regions of the country, it would probably be a different approach than what I'm able to take. But I don't think you necessarily have to go out and spend a bunch of money on like a 0 or a 15-degree sleeping bag. You can get by with a 35 if you know how to layer up right and, sleep, and you can stay warm. And so, and there's good sleeping bags out there that you can get. I don't think you're going to find one for $50. You know what I mean? Unless you buy it used, I think you're probably going to have to spend some money. And there's great companies out there. There's a lot of videos on people that go extensively in on the differences in them, baffling systems, the fill power, the different types of down, synthetic or regular down, the different types of material they're made with. Most of them are ripstop nylon. Learn the differences between 50 denier, 20 denier, even higher. The weight, all those things are things to consider. But from my experience, this is just my experience, and I'm only going into my second year of backpacking. But last year I backpacked a lot of miles. And I'm no stranger to the woods. I am a country boy, and I have spent some nights in the woods. But my experience is, and what I've seen on the landscape of the products that are out there, you're probably going to spend a minimum of $200 and $250 to get you a sleep system that you're going to feel confident with. If you don't, I think you won't be. You'll end up being like me and be very dissatisfied with the sleep system that you got. and you'll end up spending that $250 plus the $100 you probably spent on the stuff that it winds up being junk. So if I had it all over to do again, I probably would have put more money towards my sleep system and less money towards the gadgets, if that makes sense. And now this leads me to the sleep system I will be using in the near future. It is the Light Bed by ZenBivy, and I want to thank my friends at ZenBivy for sending this to me to let me use it and test it out in the field. I'm really excited about this. This is their inflatable pad, and this here is the top quilt and like the sheet cover. I love the whole idea behind this thing. It's centered around why would I want to be constricted to a mummy sleeping bag in order to stay warm? Why can't I carry over some comforts of the way I sleep at home into the back country? And they have done a phenomenal job at being able to design a sleep system that gives you some comfort. Their sheets and the inside of this quilt really kind of emulates the feel of a sheet at home. They have a real comfortable pillow that comes with it. This particular system that they sent me, everything included. They sent a dry bag, a pillow, this sleeping pad with the insulated sleeping pad. I got the extra large because I'm extra large, and I want something that fits me, and I want something that's comfortable. And that particular sleep system runs right at $700, and so I know that everybody can't afford that, but if you could, I would definitely spend the money on that. I've already tested it out in the yard and laid in it in my living room, and it is just unbelievably comfortable. They did send it to me to test, but I do have the option to buy, so I'm probably not sending that thing back. I'm probably going to purchase it. It's that nice. So either way, that's the sleep system. I wanted to discuss that first because that is the one thing that I made the biggest mistake on my purchases starting out backpacking. I tried to skimp on it, thought I could get by, roughing it, thinking, I'm just roughing it outside. As long as I got something to throw over me and, something to keep me off the ground, I'm going to be fine. But I realized, I learned a couple hard lessons that, man, I wish I would have bought this product or that one. If I could have just spent just a little bit more money, I probably could have got a Climate. They've got an insulated sleeping pad, inflatable sleeping pad for, I think $80 or $90. It's really comfortable. Would have been well worth the money. I probably should have spent the money on that. I could have got, in a wider range of sleeping bags, in the ballpark of around $100 to $150 that would have served me really well, and I wouldn't have had to spend no more money this year. So, either way, that's, I guess, the reason I'm focusing a lot on sleep systems, because that's probably where I have the most regrets on my beginner backpacker purchases. Next item on the list is my backpack. This is the Osprey Atmos 65 liter, and I'm going to tell you, this is the one piece of gear that I have no regrets. Are there other packs out there that I wish that I had because they were lighter and maybe more trendier, maybe not as traditional, I guess you could say. But man, this thing weighs over 4 pounds. That's heavy for a pack. It's probably light for a traditional pack. But it is so comfortable, and being older, and just been around a little bit, you know what I mean. The comfort of this thing, the anti-gravity system on this works really, really great. I love the way this system wraps around my hips. The cushion on the shoulder straps are just they're really, really nice. And You know, I'm not an ultralighter. I don't carry a bunch of extra weight. I'm not one of those guys either. I do want to try to get as light as I can, but that pack when I bought it, it was I don't know. I think $260, $265. I was really going between it and the Hyperlight. The only reason I didn't go with the Hyperlight was because I was just scared of the comfort of it. I was scared that it wouldn't, give me the support or as the Osprey does, and so it performs very well. It performs great, and I've had it on some strenuous hikes. I've it's great in the wintertime when I got to pack extra weight because I got to carry extra clothing or carry extra water. It just does an amazing job. It's well worth it. I think even right now, it's worth it. I do know that Osprey has now come out with a pack. I can't remember the name of it, but it's kind of centered around being ultralight, but still having the same anti-gravity system. I would like to have that pack. I think it's a pack that's around, closer to the 2 pound range. The only thing that I don't like is I just, all the extra zippers and pockets and all those things. I really I don't use them. I pretty much just use the big compartment. I put a Nyla Flume pack liner in there. I stuff my stuff in there and then I tie it up and I put my cook system and other stuff on top, and I really don't use it's got two weird front zipper just slide in pockets, and they're long, and I don't ever put nothing in them, so it's kind of useless to me. So if I'd have just had I do use the outer mesh pocket, but and my water bottle pockets, but that's about it. So I probably would have been okay with maybe like the Hyperlight or something like that. There is a pack that I got my eye on. I would like to purchase, and I think for the weight and what it is the Shadow Light backpack by Outdoor Vitals. And what I like about Outdoor Vitals is you just get to come along the journey with them. They're real good about being transparent about the research and development, the materials they use, and they bring you on the journey of testing out their products. And I like that backpack. I like Outdoor Vitals. I think they do a good job of putting things on the market for people that is at a lower price point, but at the same time isn't just generic and cheap. They do put a lot of work into their research and development. So, long story short, I love my backpack. It serves me well. It gives me plenty of space in the wintertime for, extra clothing and stuff like that. I don't quite need 65 liters in the warmer months, but that's fine. It still doesn't bother me much at all with my pack looking like it's half full on my back, but that's fine. Next up on the list is the Nature Like. I think this is the Sirius 2. This is a freestanding tent that I bought. It's a two-person tent, but it's not really a two-person tent. But for the price, I think I gave about $150 for this tent. And I'm going to tell you, I've been in some pretty nasty weather with this thing. Some rain plenty of times. Some real cold nights. And this tent has held up and it's still in good shape a year later. I mean, if there's one thing about me in gear and it comes to testing it, I'm going to put it through its paces, because I'm not the type of person I'm going, through the woods and I'm being real careful and I'm no, I put my gear to the test. Now I put it in weather, I put it in every condition I could put it in, and this tent here has surprised me. It's tough. It's not that heavy. I wouldn't call it ultralight. I think with the tent poles and the rain fly and the tent and the footprint, I'm wanting to say this thing comes in a little under 4 pounds. I know it's under 3 pounds. So not extremely heavy, not extremely light. Now it might be around 3 pounds now I think about it. It's probably closer to the 3 pound mark. Good tent. Serves me well. I just decided to get a new one this year. And the tent that I decided to go with is Outdoor Vitals 40th 2-person tent. And I spent a little bit of money on this thing. It was a little over $300. And if I had a good tent, why did I end up getting another one? For a couple reasons. One, I wanted to shed some weight, but that wasn't the main reason. This thing is just a little over 2 pounds. It's lightweight. The other is I didn't want a freestanding tent. That tent, it's as good as it is. When I get to camp, I'm not wanting to stretch out 3 tent poles, click everything together, stretch over the rain fly, get in there, put it underneath the tent poles and all that, and put the rain fly or the footprint and all that. I just didn't want to fool with it. I just wanted something that I could throw out there. I love the idea of a single wall trekking pole tent. Just stake out the corners, throw in the trekking poles, stake them out, make a few adjustments, and just get in. And so this actually gives me that. I haven't had this on the trail yet, but I've set this thing up probably 50 times in the backyard. I've slept in it in the backyard. I've tested it out in the cold. It was probably close to I don't know. When I slept the first night I slept in it, it got down to like 25 degrees, and I was comfortable in this thing. And the other is, this thing is like a palace compared to that one. They say it's 48 inches wide, but they claim that you could put 2 25-inch pads in it, and I believe it because it's like a palace. I could set up in it. I'm 6'1". I have plenty of room in there, so I do like this. For the same price, I could have got the Dirkston X Mid. Was this close to getting it, but I don't know, man. I like my guys at Outdoor Vitals, and I just wanted to give this thing a shot. And I remember, and probably about 6 months ago, the reason I did get it is because I think about 6 or 7 months ago when I first discovered this thing and got to looking at it and what it is, and I was like, you know what, I'm getting that tent as soon as I spend some money to get it. And then after that's when I found out about the Dirkston, and so I don't know, man. I had to get this, and it does get some flack because it is made of a seal poly material. OV guys, man, they're just some good old American boys out of Utah, and I just want to support some of our smaller companies, and so very satisfied with this purchase. Can't wait to get it out on the trail with the Zen Bivy. So I'm going to be experiencing some comforts that I haven't experienced yet on the trail, and I'm excited for this one right here. Next up on the list is my cook system. This is the first cook system I bought. It is made by UST or UTS, whatever it is. This is not bad. It's not that heavy, and for I guess a knockoff Jet Bull, it does the job. I paid like $40 for this thing, and honestly, I could probably use this thing for years to come. I really like it. It's just the only downfall is the size, maybe. You could tell it's cheap. It's aluminum, but it's never failed me. It's a great pot. It's a great cook system. It's a great little stove. I like it, but I wanted something just a little smaller and a little more compact. So I bought this little jewel, and this here is just a cheap $12 little stove that you can get from Amazon, and it folds up, and it's got like a little plastic orange case that you could put it in, and it's just small, and I like it. The pot that I got for it was another UST. I guess it's UST. I bought this to go with it. You know, it's just a small pot. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just boiling water for dehydrated meals or some ramen noodles or making my coffee. Got to have coffee in the morning. So this size for when I went by myself was perfect. This little thing is super light. It's aluminum. But I ended up buying something. I can't remember what it was, but I bought some stuff from REI, and they gave me like a gift card for $40, and so I splurged and bought the Tokes. I think this is the 650 milliliter titanium pot. I could not believe how light the titanium pot was compared to the aluminum. It kind of blew my mind. But here's the cook system that I go with now. Just a cheap $12 stove off of Amazon. I think you can buy the exact same one from Walmart now. I'll either use the small can or I use the big can with the Tokes, and I really like it. I mean, when it comes to backpacker meals, all you need to do is boil a cup and a half to 2 cups of water, and 2 cups for coffee in the morning if you got your mate with you. So yeah. And one other thing, my Tokes long handled spoon, it's great for getting down deep inside of those bags, those dehydrated meal bags. I love this little thing. And actually, if you go to if you like any of Outdoor Vitals stuff, you can sign up for a membership. It's $10 a month, but the $10 goes towards your account, so you keep the money. The money's actually free. And then when you sign up, they send you one of these for free. So I got 2 of these bad boys, and thank you Outdoor Vitals for that. Next is water filtration. So what I started out with was the old trusty Sawyer squeeze, and I love this thing, man. This thing is great. You can screw it on a smart water bottle. It's pretty tough. I love what the company stands for. If you really want to kind of see what they do, I think Dan Becker has a video. I think the title of it is Sawyer is not who you think they are. But then he goes to show you who they really are, and they're out over in Africa, and they're just helping tons of people get clean water, clean drinking water. And so they have a good, and they partner up with a lot of nonprofits to help get that done. And so I really like what they stand for. So when I went to go buy another filter, I kind of felt bad about it, but I wanted to try it out. And so what I went with was the Platypus Quick Draw. And I think what I liked about it is the snap top. There's one issue with Sawyer, and is that you always lose them stinking gaskets. And so this has a cap on the end, and the gasket right there is just kind of clicked in there so it doesn't fall out. So you can screw this on and off many times, and you will not lose it. And so that kind of sold me on it. A little more expensive than the Sawyer squeeze, but not by much. This was like $40, I think. Sawyer's a little over $30, so kind of close in price. But I like this, and I like the fact that you could click these on here. You screw that on the back, click it down, and in the colder weather, you can put this in your pocket or down in your sleeping bag, and you ain't got to worry about water dripping on you in your sleeping bag. And so, and that's a good tip right there. If you know you're going to get down below freezing, don't leave your water filter out, because it will freeze and it will ruin it, and it will not be no good. So that's what I like about this. And then I have been wanting to get one of these knock bags. Some people call it Sinnock, but they got some stickers that say it's a hard knock life. So either it's a hard Sanok life or a hard knock life. So I'm assuming they pronounce this thing knock. And what I like about this is I hated dipping my bottles down there and letting, if the water's cold, your hand gets cold trying to let that bottle fill up. And this thing right here, it slides open like this, and it will open up wide, and you can actually just scoop up your water and fill it up fairly quickly. And from the time I set my eyes on one of these, I've been wanting one, and so I finally splurged and got it. And this thing here isn't but about 20 bucks. And what you do is, if you aren't familiar with this system, you actually can use this as your dirty water bag, scoop in the water, and then you can screw in your water filter. And then you can fill your water bottles up. So that's the water system I'll be using. I'm excited to use it. And before I go into the last category I'm going to discuss, which is my luxury items, let's just give a shout out to our sponsors. Hey guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to this video's sponsor, Lethal Faith. In this book right here, Lethal Faith, Volume 2, Dr. Michael Knight uses more science and archaeology than I've ever seen in one volume to defend our faith. This book right here, Lethal Faith, Volume 2, Rediscovering Jesus, is probably hands down a book that has more facts, more science, more archaeological finds than any one book that can arm you with the facts that you need to defend your faith. This book is perfect for students. It's perfect for parents trying to teach their kids how to defend their faith. And this is also a very great book for church leaders. Highly recommend this book. And also thank you again to our friends at Lethal Faith for sponsoring this video. First luxury item has to do with coffee. Yeah, I don't know about you, but when I wake up in the morning, I want me some coffee. And this here is a super lightweight coffee press, like a French press. And this is pretty neat. I don't take this with me every time because some singles, instant coffee is good enough for me in the country or back country. But when Ashley's with me, or just maybe taking some guys and want to give them some fresh coffee in the morning, I do take this, and this is my luxury item. And of course, I got the little lightweight coffee mug. That's my other luxury item, and I do take this with me every time I go because I'm wanting some coffee when I wake up in the morning. And my other one, yes, my last luxury item is my camp chair. And I don't take this with me every time either. And so that's why I've got this brand, which is, this thing is 2 pounds. It's not the lightest thing in the world. But if I'm just doing a short hike somewhere, setting up camp, and then maybe doing a little day hiking, and, going to spend a lot of time at camp, I will take this. But if I'm trying to, stretch out some miles and do some longer hikes, I'm not packing this extra weight with me. But I did want one for when I had one, and so I bought this. I think I gave around $50 for it, so it's half the price of one of your more expensive ones, but no more than I'm going to use it. I just couldn't see spending $150 on a chair that I'm probably going to break anyways. So yeah, that's my last luxury item. All right, thank you guys for watching this video. I will have links in the description for all the stuff that I have. And if you just want to check it out, man, check it out. And again, I just want to thank our sponsors at Lethal Faith for sponsoring this video.